So sit back and enjoy. And please chat. Don't be quiet. Just about to get started. Nice to see so many of you online, so many of you quietly online. Okay. So, today's cartoon, I think everything's working okay. Today's cartoon is going to be a Valentine's Day cartoon with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. And of course, the news is how Bernie is doing better among women voters than Hillary, which is surprising since that's Hillary's pitch. And also that Bernie's doing better with younger voters. So, and most importantly, younger women voters are going way heavy for Bernie. So the idea is Valentine's Day cartoon. Valentine's Day is Sunday, so sending this cartoon out tomorrow morning works well. And this is my rough sketch for it. So Hillary's going to be over here on the left. Here's Cupid. She's given her a raspberry like that. And over here on the right is Bernie with all the pretty young girls making a crowd around him. So with two caricatures, a crowd and Cupid, this one's going to take a while to draw. So we'll get started. Hey, everyone, please chat with me. Let me know what you think. And I will get started laying this puppy out. Also, go to my personal blog page, darylcagle.com. Excuse me, moving the microphone. And you can see all the past videos, and it's good stuff to watch. So, hey, 63 of you watching silently, not leaving a comment. Say something. And please follow this. Follow me. I appreciate the follows. I do need the follows. Okay, so if you're wondering what I'm looking at on the screen, I've got photo scrap here of Bernie Sanders, and then I'll have Hillary as well. So let's put, say Hillary is here. Her pantsuit. Yeah, give her some poor posture, because she's not happy about what she sees. Okay, there's a rough Hillary. She'll be looking at Cupid. Cupid looking back at Hillary. So move her a little over here. Cupid here. And Cupid has to be given the raspberry, so big tongue. Can have a little bit of spray coming at her, huh? Foot. Check something over here. Okay. So, what should Cupid's body position be? I think he needs the face pointing back here at Hillary. He's kind of big, isn't he? Too big. So, Erdnus Vorn Mars writes, what is the situation between Hillary and Bernie? I have actually no clue about politics in America. Where are you from, Erdnus? Their situation is that Bernie is doing surprisingly well. And Hillary doing surprisingly poorly. Germany. Yeah, I think you guys get a kind of a strange view of America. I think Europe is much more obsessed with Donald Trump. Thinks of him as a really crazy character. And Europe, by and large, doesn't give as much weight to how far right the Republicans are here. The effect of the angry evangelicals. So I think we don't follow each other very well. Although Americans acknowledge that they don't know what goes on in the rest of the world, but the rest of the world all thinks they know all about America. So that's my riff. So there's his bow. I wanted to show a little bit of butt. I have to really stretch to get butt in that position. Sprudel writes, Bernie would be a moderate in Germany. I guess he would. Anyway, this is a Valentine's Day cartoon. And we also had this interesting news here of Gloria Steinem and Madeleine Albright kind of dissing young women who like Bernie. Implication being that they're not serious. Gloria Steinem says they want to go to the Bernie events to get dates. And that is so sexist. It's ironic coming from her. Anyway, that's why the emphasis on the young women and their interest in Bernie, because it's been in the news with the vocal Hillary supporters. I've heard Madeleine Albright said something like, there's a special place in hell for women who don't support the other women. My goodness. Okay, his head is still wrong. This will take me quite a while to get right. You know, I'm going to be here all afternoon, so sit back, make some popcorn, relax. Thank you for your comments. 63 of you, that's great. Actually, this should be in his other hand. So I can have one hand here pulling it back. Let's do that. So here's the other hand. And here he's pulling it back. an arrow. Hand goes a little lower. Oh, Judah Smata, you want to donate? That's wonderful. Go to cagle.com/heroes. We really do appreciate your support. I'm not set up as a Twitch partner yet to take donations on Twitch, but I do appreciate follows. And if you're a Cagle.com fan, please do. I appreciate the donations on Cagle.com/heroes. And get your friends to follow. I do appreciate that. Salty corn. Erdnuss. Very good. Arrow needs to be a little longer. Wait till I get to Bernie. I haven't decided whether to put Bernie up on a pedestal or not. But you can see, I have the girls running along here at the bottom. Hillary should come down a bit. I should have a ground line here. You know, I figure all this stuff out as I go along. So, my apologies for that. There seems to be this crazy misconception that people have about cartoonists, that we visualize everything first and then just draw it right out of our heads the first time. No, I look at it and figure it out and make lots of errors and lots of erasing. Wings need to come down to not obscure his tongue. All things I do not think about until I start drawing this thing. He's got curly hair, doesn't he, Cupid? Okay. 72 people, 72 very quiet people watching this on Twitch. Okay, so Bernie. I think I need to have his head up here. Stand him probably like that. That's going to be generally where he is. Head needs to come down. Relaxing to watch me draw. Well, good, good. Oh, I've got 4 new followers today. Thank you, folks. Tyrone Epzik and Erdness, and I Can Find a Game, So I Will, and Wonderboy 420. Thank you so much, all of you, for following. I really do appreciate it. I'm drinking water from Flint, Michigan today. So this is probably going to take me an hour and a half just to do the rough sketch. And then another 2 hours to do the finished line work, and then probably another hour and a half to do the color. So it's going to be all afternoon, folks. Just give me some comments to keep me talking and I won't go quiet. Thank you so much, Tyrone Nepsk. I appreciate the follow. Hillary's head comes down more too. Yeah, Flint water. My goodness, so nasty. Look at my last cartoon about Flint, and you'll see where the water comes from. It's on the Twitch page with my video archive. Okay, if you hear some drumming, that's my rocker son downstairs doing the drumming. If you look back on the video archive, you'll also see that I did his album cover in a live stream on Twitch, which is just about ready to get deleted because Twitch doesn't keep the oldies up there like I would like to see them do. Thank you for the nice tweet, Judas Master. Excellent Flint cartoon, says Shep Draws. Thank you, Shep. Flint is quite the outrage. I was hearing, while I was drawing that on Twitch, some people from Europe who were watching said they didn't know anything about Flint. They don't get that news. And, my goodness. I'll bet they got all the news about Donald Trump, but something as devastating as Flint, and they don't get the news. I suppose that's the same with us following news about Europe. Thank you, Judas Matawan. I do appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna need. I think I'm gonna put Bernie on an ionic column. It could be a Corinthian column. Just needs to have a little panache. And that's because I need for him to be up high here at a level that's going to put his head above the girls. The girls are going to be here, like groupies. Running away from Hillary, showing disinterest in Hillary. Okay. Shep Draws writes, I had an old boss at my former newspaper who was from Flint, who spent a little time in the auto plants and decided to get the hell out and become a commercial artist. Well, Flint just sounds like a god-awful place, doesn't it? I'm going to move my camera over just a little bit. Excuse me. Okay. There, I think we're better. Oh, you're seeing my camera right here in the corner. So it's not better. Maybe that's better. Yeah, poor Flint. It's terrible. It's like the cost of replacing all the plumbing exceeds the value of all the building stock in town. In other words, costs more to replumb for non-poison water at your house than it does to build a new house. I suppose we're going to start hearing arguments about how they shouldn't even rebuild Flint. Kind of the same arguments we were hearing about New Orleans. Shep Draws, what is your brainstorming process for a cartoon? Keywords, thumbnails, subconscious thinking? Well, this morning I went out and read the newspaper, and there was really quite a bit of news about the demographics of the primary in New Hampshire. And a big feature article today in the LA Times about Hillary's problems with young people and Bernie's demographics. And that in combination with this weekend being Valentine's Day, and every editor is, well, I shouldn't say every editor, but most editors are just obsessed with holidays. They really want cartoons to be addressing holidays, and that's something that cartoonists resist, which really shows up on some particular holidays where editors have, what should I say, strong demand for those holidays, and cartoonists are not motivated to put out a lot of supply for those holidays. So we do get a lot of Valentine's Day cartoons, but we don't get many Dr. Martin Luther King Day cartoons. And the editors really want those, and we get complaints. And we started doing things to promote the oldies on our Syndicate site so that the editors who only look at the new cartoons are not going to be flummoxed by no Martin Luther King cartoons, because we'll bring up all the oldies for them. But we have to do that special stuff because the cartoonists do not necessarily, or often do not, draw what the editors want. I'm just digressing. Anyway, drawing this because it's Valentine's Day this weekend, and the news is Bernie getting the votes from all the young women. To the consternation of Hillary, who wants to be loved. Hillary wants to be loved, but she's just not very lovable. And it's Bernie over here who's lovable. And he is lovable in a funny old man kind of way. I like Bernie. His nose is funny. It's really kind of narrow. Hello, T-Guile. Shep Draw writes, there'll be a lot of abandoned cities as climate change becomes more prominent. That is scary stuff. You know, I'm here in Santa Barbara, California, and they had a conceptual art project that they were going to do in town, which was to paint this blue line down the main street, State Street, at the level where they predicted the sea level would go with climate change. In front of all the businesses, you know, there would be this blue line of where the ocean would go. And the businesses, of course, were all horrified. You can't do that. Made a local scandal. It was kind of interesting, but shocking to see where that blue line would go. But not something people are ready to think about, even in liberal Santa Barbara. Pyro Games Incorporated. Yes, Santa Barbara. Oh, 77 people watching. That's pretty good. I appreciate all you guys, and thank you for the comments. And please, please do follow, because I really do need the follows. I'm the only editorial cartoonist who's drawing live online, to my knowledge. And I feel like I've got the obligation of proof of concept. If I can make it work, other people will think it works. And if I can't, people aren't even going to try. Cartoonists aren't even going to try. Editorial cartoonists. So I have the burden of proof of concept on my shoulders. Lizaniel writes, you do have a steady job as a cartoonist, right? I do, in the respect that I'm the guy who runs the Syndicate, which gives me the audience at the syndicated papers, and it gives me the reach to get my cartoons seen. But I don't have an employer newspaper, and I'm afraid that's the way it's going to be moving into the future for most cartoonists, turning into a freelance kind of thing. Most editorial cartoonists, I should say, as the jobs are disappearing. But so it is with all of journalism, and I don't think any worse for cartoonists than anyone in the newsroom. All right, let's do a better Bernie. So in case you're wondering, this is what I'm looking at on my computer screen. It's Google Images of Bernie. Oh, and thank you for following, Dawifa. I do appreciate that. Arm Slammer writes, what size do you normally draw your editorial cartoons? Well, this is 11 by 17 that I'm doing my sketch on, and my final paper, my vellum that goes on top of this, 14 by 17. So usually smaller than the 14 by 17. Usually 3 passes of the scanner. Sometimes it's a little tall and I need to go through the scanner in 5 pieces, but usually not. Bernie's going to be hard for me to draw. I'm not used to drawing him yet. Adwecon, can you draw good? I'll leave that up to you. Lots of people, when they disagree with my cartoons, they like to insult my drawing. So I'd say that's where most of my detractors come from. People that disagree. I do have lots of detractors. Oh, you can't see. I'm back. I'm sorry. My apologies there. Yeah, let me know when I do that. Sometimes I forget. And I do flip up and look at the comments regularly, in case you're wondering where I'm looking. Maybe they should all have cell phones. That makes them look young. Oh, Fall Angel writes, you draw with your left. Yes. And that's why I have this blue thing here behind me here. So when the chat and stuff shows up, is the chat showing up? You guys type a message, it shows up. doing more involved drawings for your videos. Oh, well, thank you. Is the chat showing up? I think it's not. Could be. Chat browser source. Let me give that a shot. Should have this chat showing up. My apologies, because I will be here for a long time, so settling in for the day. Peyton Rip, thank you so much for following. Well, looks like I'm having trouble getting the chat to show up. Oh, there it goes. 2 new followers. Thank you, Judas Mata. And my apologies about the chat. I think I've got the chat working now, so you should see it there. Bring the size up a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, thank you, Judas Mata. Thank you, Adwikon. And Peyton Rip. I really do appreciate these follows. That's my measure of how well this is working. And so, thank you so much. Yeah, this gal has to go. Who are my favorite conservative editorial cartoonists? Well, probably Nate Beeler is my favorite one. He's the cartoonist for the Columbus Dispatch. He's really quite conservative. And Eric Alley, when he does national cartoons instead of just the local ones, very good conservative. In fact, what I've done with my syndicate is gather a whole bunch of cartoonists who are my favorite cartoonists. And put them into the newspaper syndicate. And we will often label the cartoons liberal or conservative in order to get the conservative editors to consider something that's not always coming from a conservative cartoonist. But if you will take a look, you want to see my favorite cartoonists, I'll drop this in chat. Come to this page. This is my syndicate page, and you can see here, this is my syndicate page. These are That's the top of the page. This is the cartoon news ticker. Here you can see my last cartoon from yesterday right there. And down here, the list of all the cartoonists in the syndicate that I syndicate. And there are some excellent conservative cartoonists here. Rick McKee, probably our most popular cartoonist, along with Nate Beeler. Very conservative cartoonist, really very good. And he's funny. And you know, conservatives, I think conservatives tend to be humorless. Not much funny about heartless conservatives. But Rick McKee is really quite funny. So, the exception to the rule. Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I forget to switch the monitor. We're back. And I do appreciate everyone today. Thank you so much for these nice follows. Thank you, Adweekton. That's very nice. This girl can be grabbing his leg, huh? People are texting me. I need to take the watch off. One thing about this drawing these things live is it makes me focus, not lose my train of thought and run into doing other things. I don't answer the phone and the texts. You guys are quiet today. Yep, iWatch. Part of the issue with the iWatch is that it demands attention, and often it demands attention for things that do not deserve my attention. So I should remember to take it off every time I live stream. I'm just blocking things out. This is all rough sketch to give me direction when I do the final drawing on top of this. I may want to lift Cupid up a little bit and left. I have to think about that. Maybe the girls need their cell phones. Nice to have 65 folks here. I appreciate that. I've even got 3 on YouTube who are not leaving comments. You guys are so quiet. Oh, it looks like my white hairs on my chin are giving chroma key trouble. Let's get rid of those. That's better. I'm back. Do I have any apps for Cagle Tunes? We used to have a nice, we used to have like 40 apps. I was doing topical apps and individual artist apps. We had some trouble with Apple not wanting to approve our apps because they did not approve of the cartoons. In particular, they were quite vocal about an app we did of Tiger Woods cartoons that they would not tolerate. Back when Tiger Woods was having sex with everyone, we had lots of great Tiger Woods cartoons. Anyway, the apps needed to be updated, and we lost our programmer, and the cost was well more than the ad revenue that the apps brought in, so we just decided to drop them. There was no good reason for doing them. Hello, Parks Lady. Nice to see you here. So we might give them a try again, but problem is, you know, we make the money in the Syndicate by licensing cartoons to other people. Actually, running the cartoons ourselves, not much of a business plan to that. This girl must change. Parks Lady asks how I am. I am all good today. I have a theory about editors. My theory is that what editors want from editorial cartoons is really they want the editorial cartoons to be greeting cards. And so the more you give the editors what they want, which is Hallmark, the more your cartoon gets reprinted. So when there's an opportunity to do that in a way that is not too disturbing to our cartoonist sensibilities, like Hillary and Bernie Valentine's Day cartoon, then seize the day. These are all pretty young girls, and the reason why they're all pretty young girls, and I do not have diversity in the aspect of including young men or older women or not so romantically inclined women is that this is a Valentine's Day cartoon and the news is about young women flocking to Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton. So, and Gloria Steinem's crazy comment about the young women preferring Bernie because they want to get dates, which is so sexist. So sexist to have that coming from Gloria Steinem. Crazy. So we can have one back here, a little behind Bernie. It is ridiculous, Parks Lady. Therefore, the cartoon. I need to remember that they should be holding their cell phones. And please, folks, please follow. I do need the follows. Parks Lady writes, I've heard younger women are more likely to support Bernie, and I'm not sure why that is. Well, it's because young Cupid here is not shooting arrows in Hillary's direction. I have all the cartoon answers. Yeah, that darn Cupid. I'm going to have to put more thought into this pedestal as well, I can see. This gal is not looking good. Dawifa writes, do you have an idea in mind of what your follows and likes would have to be for you to deem the live videos a success? Well, I don't know. I look at some of these other people in the Twitch community who, will literally get like 2,000 people live online at a time. I think what would make live streaming a success in the eyes of most editorial cartoonists is enough viewers that they could say, look, I've got a credible audience here, to a newspaper or somebody that's trying to build up their online presence, and say, look, don't you want me to be part of your news site because I've got a online following that watches me in real time, and you're all worried about your static print content and not having enough support for videos and online communities, and so here, hire me as your editorial cartoonist, and I bring videos and online community to you. And I think that requires quite a bit of audience in order to make that kind of an argument. And that's what it's going to take for I think for most editorial cartoonists to be willing to invest the time to do live streaming. Something that creates a credible business opportunity for them. How many viewers is that? I don't know. It's something on the order of the better, bigger audiences of the popular people in Twitch Creative. But keep in mind that this is traditional editorial cartooning is its own odd beast with a different audience, and the jury is out on whether it can work here, but I'll give it a try. I enjoy it. I'm starting to develop this kind of skill like Popeye of mumbling to myself constantly as I draw and figure things out. And I see that the process of doing these is something that takes some time. There's a learning curve to it. So, folks, I do really appreciate if you would follow for me. That would be a wonderful help. I need the follows. The follows is the proof of concept. I'm a bit concerned that these squatty women in the front are not looking right, because they're just squatty, and they should not be. Face camera is only showing my hair when I lean down like this. Maybe up a little bit. Try that. So that's lower. And let's try it over here. There you get a little bit of camera clamp. And now a little bit of shadow on the green screen. If we can fix that. Okay, I think that's a little better. Popeye's voice. Garshk, Daryl. Where's me spinach, writes Dawifa. Popeye mumbles constantly. Oh, and thank you, Psy Matrix, for your helpful advice there. This gal needs to be entirely different. this a little bit this way. What am I getting here? Oh, I'm getting this. Oof. So I'm not, you can see that I'm procrastinating drawing Bernie by fiddling with all these girls. Bernie has an interesting nose in that from the front it's really quite narrow. But you want to draw it poking out. He's got that long, interesting, flat upper lip. And he alternates between showing more upper teeth and more lower teeth. I'm going to try the lower first, see how that looks. Kind of a little nose bulb there. Chin back that way. Okay, the eyes. His hair is wonderful. So my apologies, folks, for silent times as I procrastinate figuring out how to draw Bernie's eyes. So his eyelids kind of are straight across. Like that. A little bit of angry eyebrow that disappears as it gets like halfway back across his eyes. Then he's got these nice glasses. That's not good enough, but I think I'm going to need to take a second away from it in order to figure out how it's not good enough. Got a good old man ear.
I like Bernie. He's fun. Alright. He's not good enough, but I'm going to have to wait a minute for my mind to reset to give me a better read on what I've got wrong. I estimated an hour and a half to do this rough sketch, but I can tell it's going to be longer. Dawifa, I try to avoid the labels in the editorial cartoons. If I can do a cartoon without labels, then I will strive for that. So no labels on here. I'm not going to write Clinton or Saunders, even though I may need it, depending on how bad a job I do with my caricatures. But yeah, I think it's the sissy editorial cartoonists that rely on labels. I guess Bernie is starting to look okay. Forehead needs to come back this way. Alright, what do I do about this girl in the front who's not looking right? Bernie is kind of right. That's a little funnier. He really doesn't have much of a snuff box. Your snuff box is this part here right under your nose that indents a little bit. Let's let Bernie percolate for a minute and I'll come back to him. What am I going to do with this girl? I think this girl needs to go. There's a little bit of space here right in front of Bernie where she can pop her head. Oh, Rusty Fishhook! Thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. And also, Is Square Pixel, thank you. I really do appreciate the follows. Yes, thank you, Rusty Fishhook. Much appreciated. I do need the follows. He doesn't really have this bulldog jowl, does he? just goes down the side. Comes out here. It goes down that way. Yeah. Alright. Yes, I do kind of make the expression of the characters that I'm drawing as I draw them. I know some cartoonists like to have a mirror on their table, make the expressions and look at their own faces. If I give this girl this prime spot, she's going to be the prime face. I guess that's okay. Bernie, the new Elvis, of course. It's like Bye Bye Birdie. Okay. That's awkwardly covering her face, but perhaps that's kind of nice. Yeah, clearly Cupid needs to come up here. And he's given the raspberry to Hillary. Her cell phone. Poodle Skirts says nail makers. Should I have poodle skirts? don't have any skirts, do I? Let's think about his column. What is Bernie's column going to look like? Alright, this girl is looking a little wrong. Do I want to reposition her? Yes, I figure this stuff out as I look at it. And it takes some time. Oh, my stuff goes slow. Veta83, thank you for following. I do appreciate. So, Veta83, how do you find me here? Am I just on the creative page along with everybody else and you just happen to click? This girl's looking lousy. This girl is not looking like she's got a good place for her body to go. I think I may need to rethink her. Might be a little better. Wonder Boys 420 writes, I was being featured on the main creative page when I started watching. Oh, well, that's great. Am I still there on the main creative page? Oh, I'm not looking at that. Take a look. Nice to be featured on the main creative page. I'm going to be here so long, I guess it's not reasonable to expect that I would stay on the main creative page very long. Nope. Live game creation. I don't think I'm on the
creative page at all anymore. Oh, here I am, way down. 40 viewers. Well, that's not so bad comparatively. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns down. 10 rows down. She's looking a little more like she should be bent over in this position. And the more I get away from Bernie, the more Bernie kind of seems to look like that's what he should be looking like. I think I'm going to need to look at some columns. Oh, taking a selfie of herself. I'm sorry. Dawifa writes, one girl should be taking a selfie of herself being close to Bernie. And that's true. This girl could do that. Oh, I was gonna work here on my how about a Corinthian column? Corinthian. Corinthian column. What's the top of a Corinthian column called? Oh, there should be lots of these. So, in case you're wondering, this is what I'm looking at, Corinthian columns. Phone for a selfie kind of needs to be here, doesn't it? If you hear the drumming, that's my son rocking out downstairs. Okay, she's got a arm on Bernie and she's taking a selfie here. That was a very nice suggestion. Crown? Yes, Google Images is my morgue. Back in the day, when you had to do all your morgue stuff on real paper, life was tough for cartoonists. All right. So, top of the column should go about like that, huh? I just need to get him up in the air in order for this composition to work. I don't need to call that much attention to the column. Curly cues go down like that. We can get a little fleur-de-lis happening here and here and here and here. That looks like it makes sense. These need to come up like
that. That looks Corinthian, huh? Let's give it a couple little extra fleurs. And bump, 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 bump. There says Corinthian column. I'm not sure that that's any good, but it is what it is. Okay, this girl. Now I could have a hand coming up, but since I'm going to move Cupid over here, I could have a hand coming up with a camera. That would be her camera hand. The Weaver writes, did I ever have a morgue reference collection? You know, I would tear images out of the newspaper or magazines once in a while, back in the old days. And mostly I would go to the library. I used to work in Manhattan. I would go to the 42nd Street, 5th Avenue Library, where they had a wonderful morgue photo scrap room where you could go check out the clippings and spend a whole lot of time there at the New York Public Library. It was a great resource. There's so many illustrators in town, and you really needed a grand morgue. I would get these jobs that have caricatures in them, and you know, you'd think you'd get photo scrap from the client, and you do not. I hear the Mad Magazine guys talk about that. They get these movie parodies, and they're supposed to draw all the stars and all the stuff that's going to happen in the movie, and they really don't get any photo scrap. They've got to kind of make it up on the fly before the movie comes out. Story of my life for many years. Alright, what's this girl doing? Is she squatting? Is she running? Why is she there? I like the head being here in terms of the heads, but I have to figure out what the hell is going on with her body that justifies her head being there. Hello, typical rimps. Please come follow me, typical. I do need the follows. And thank you for insert me here in typical rimps. So I see you just did follow. Thank you so much. Yeah, this girl's bothering me. And close her mouth and make her face a little smaller. Do I want to give him hearts? I could. I don't know that that's necessary. It is Valentine's Day, though. It's hard to have too many hearts on Valentine's Day. Notes for where hearts should go. I think the hearts are kind of funny. Shep Draws writes, have you done any work for Mad Magazine? My photo morgues tended to overtake my workspace. The internet is wonderful for such needs. That is quite true. And no, I have not done any work for Mad Magazine. I love Mad Magazine. I know the guys at Mad Magazine, but I have not worked for Mad Magazine. All right, this girl who's bothering me. It's a little better. That hand needs to show that she's doing a selfie. Give this girl down here a better spot. Just have her phone there. Okay. I think that's kind of gonna work. Could be better. So, folks, please do follow me. I do appreciate the follows. This arm is not working for this girl. It's a little better. Just a little. And again, as you know, I do figure all this stuff out as I go along. I have not figured anything out. I'm just noticing that things look wrong as they look wrong and redrawing them and erasing a lot. I may make Cupid smaller. Crowd scenes take a lot of time because you got to get everybody in the crowd right. And one of the things I hated about my advertising cartooning career was how darn many crowd scenes there were, because art directors get the idea in their head to do a cartoon when they have so many things to say on their list of things they need to say in the art that the simple solution is not working, and they think of a cartoonist for doing a big crowd of junk. And I would get called for crowd scenes all the time. And the problem with crowd scenes is that they're assignments that come from word people who really haven't thought of what the cartoon's going to look like. And that's the simple solution for the art director. Call the cartoonist when the list starts looking too crazy. DeWeefa writes, what cartoon of yours has been most used by newspapers this year? Well, this is a short year, huh? So, I'm not sure I know. I don't get good stats on what the newspapers use, and so much of it is anecdotal, just guessing what they use the most. In general, the cartoons that get used the most are the ones that are funnier gags and have to do with celebrity schadenfreude. Editors and readers like to see celebrities suffer. So, those are always the most popular cartoons. Suffering celebrities. Okay, I think I'm starting to get there. I'm just gonna have to live with this chick in the middle. Okay, that's working. All right, Hillary. Draw Hillary. Getting back to the left. You notice I draw from right to left because I'm left-handed. So this is what I'm looking at. Hillary. And no, I don't have a good Hillary in my head. I look at the photo scrap and rethink her each time. She's had so many different hairdos. lots of cartoonists who have their versions of Hillary that they're quite happy with, but nothing that I think carries the caricature groupthink forward, like we see with Obama and the big ears, or George W. Bush getting shorter with his giant ears and his eyeballs getting closer together. Now, Hillary had, in the old days, had very heavy eyebrows that she doesn't have anymore. She's gotten herself trimmed, so we don't see such heavy eyebrows. And she has a pretty good snuff box. She's got these cheek things going on. I think I'm starting to get her. She is a grouchy looking thing. Well, hey, thank you folks for all being with me. I do appreciate it. I'm going to be for quite a long time, so sit back. And please, if you have not yet followed my stream, I would appreciate very much the follow. Oh, Cartoon Man. Hello, Daryl. First time watching via Twitch. Nice to see you here, Cartoon Man. So, Hillary. He doesn't have that big a chin. But she does have the jowls. Bring her face around. Gonna fix her nose a little bit. Nose is actually pretty long. Some cartoonists give her a huge nose, but I'm not quite seeing where that comes from. Except that cartoonists just like to draw big noses. I do give her hips bigger than they should be. And her hands are pretty tiny. Get the tiny hands. Is that what I want to do with her Hillary eyes? Let me rethink that. She does have this above the eyebrow thing, above the eyeliner thing going on. Kind of her. I'll probably make that better on the trace. Alright, let's rethink her hair a little bit. What's her hair looking like today? I wonder if I can sort these by date. Images, search tools, time, past 24 hours. Let's try that. Oh, that gives me a current hairdo. That's interesting. Hadn't really thought to do that before. Okay. You folks are so quiet. Needs a little bit of heel, huh? I think her feet are pretty tiny. So Cupid's going up here. Okay, what's up with this rough sketch? Am I done? Is this looking the way I want it to look? Hillary is close. She does need a bigger nose. Okay, Hillary. Is there a lot of Nixon in Hillary? Asks Rusty Fishhook. DeWeefa writes, your drawing is mesmerizing to all of us. We can't chat in our trances. Mesmerizing. Well, very good. A lot of Nixon and Hillary? No, I'm not seeing that. This is your basic Nixon. Did the ski nose. The hair that went like this. And the shoulders way up here. Or else he'd do this. Nixon. Okay. If this guy moves there, I can put in some more hearts, a little more afternoon lines. I think I'm good to go to that face is wrong. So let's give this girl a little more cranial mass. She looks like she had a little bout with the Zika virus, so let's make her head a little bit bigger. And then this girl needs to point up.
That makes more sense.
So you see Hillary saying, I'm not a crook. Yeah. I'm sorry she's doing so poorly, but she is a bit tone deaf. Okay. This girl's bottom needs to be bigger. Is the rough sketch done? Is the next question. That one goes wide. I think the rough sketch is done. So here's my rough sketch. Pootie moves up here. I'm good. I might move Hillary just a little bit that way. Okay, so I have been drawing 1 hour and 50 minutes to get just my rough sketch done on this puppy. And I tell you, the final line art is probably going to take just as long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little 10-minute break and start a new video, because these videos get to be too long when they hit 2 hours long. And in the next one, which will be just 10 minutes away, so don't turn me off, don't go away, I will be back and oh, that mouth is wrong. Let me fix that. I'll be back and doing the line art, which actually is not tracing this, but is rather actually doing a whole new drawing, but with this as the guidelines for it. That mouth is terrible. Right. Is that all right? I think it is. Okay. Only going to be 10 minutes, and I shall come back and sit here for another 2 hours and finish this thing. And so don't go away. I'm going to put the timer up for 10 minutes, and I will be back.